What's going on, everyone? Magnamon is coming. It's not out yet, but just about there. I've done a lot of battle videos with Magnamon X already, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the deck profile because I don't think there's much more I could really playtest with it or add on to it, so let's get into it. For the eggs, you could either use the Magnamon or you could use the new Demi Vmon. That Demi Vmon, the new one, actually lets you, all turns you get 1000 DP if you have 2 or more colors. But with the Magnamon, you have Armor Purge, you have ways to bounce things, you can digivolve things. That I prefer the draw power for it. That way, just having it be a more fast deck, right? Just getting the pieces that you need and just boom, going to town, really. So 4 of the BT12 Vmon. Now this Vmon we're playing it for multiple reasons. One, it's Vmon, so it digivolves into Magnamon for a reduced cost. You get to reveal cards. You get to add a card with free in its trait, which could be any of the Magnamons, including the new starter, not starter. Well, yeah, the new starter deck 16, but the X-Antibody, the new one in BT16. And you can add a Davis as well. So you could add 2 cards for that one go. And lastly, that end of turn is really why I'm playing it, is just to be able to DNA. We do have some DNAing in here that you could do. One of the best ones, I think, that has worked for me is this jamming Vmon from BT3. Gives so much aggro to the deck, just being able to swing, digivolve, unsuspend, being able to swing again. And if you have Magnamon on top of this Vmon, if you use Fire Rocket, now you swing with that Magnamon. If that Magnamon dies, you go back into the Vmon, and the Vmon does check that second check. It does have jamming, so it's not going to die. So very good Vmon to have. 2 of the starter deck 9 Vmons, and it's a searcher. You reveal 3 cards, add a Digimon with free in its trait, and then place the rest in the bottom. I just think this Vmon is much better than this one, and then it doesn't even have an inherit. It's just more for search power and then being a Vmon in general. 4 of the promo Vmons, right there. This one, I was playing it wrong in the beginning in some of the battle matches, which I forgot, but this one reduces when you would digivolve into a Digimon with free in its traits. You can reduce it by 1, but you have to have a Tamer in play. So as long as you have the Davis in play, you're able to digivolve, reduce it by 1. And then when attacking, if this Digimon has 2 or more colors, draw 1, and it's not once per turn. So if you can swing on suspend, swing, you're drawing twice. With the Magnamon, that's another draw, so you can draw up to 2-3 times in one go. Bread and butter of the deck, which are the Magnamons to level 4s. 4 of the starter deck BT13. This one, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's probably the least one you want to digivolve into because it doesn't have Armor Purge. It's a blocker, but then it does kind of have a pseudo Armor Purge where if it gets deleted, you can play a Vmon from its source, or you can play one from your hand. So if it were to leave the battle area, whether it's DP reduction, just gets deleted in battle, whatever. You get to draw 1, and then you can play the Vmon underneath or play one from your hand, which can be good if you want to end up doing more searching and, playing any of the searching Vmons, or setting yourself up, playing the Vmon again. And if you have a Tamer, you're able to digivolve into a Magnamon, reducing the cost by 1. The most busted card, aside from the BT16 Magnamon, is a starter deck Magnamon. This card is just stupid. Thing is dumb. It does way too much for a level 4. It could digivolve from Vmon for cost of 3. It has a security effect, so when it gets hit in the security, right, you get to de-digivolve a Digimon, and then if you have a Vmon in play, or a Digimon in play, not even a Vmon, you can digivolve into this Digimon. Then, when it digivolves, you can trash the top Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. So let's say you have your opponent has a Magnamon on the field, and you digivolve. Since it has 2 colors, you get to trash 2 top Digivolution sources, and then return one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards to the hand. So you could either strip and then you can bounce something else, or you can digivolve. In this case, you would strip 2, right? So if it had the Vmon and if it had the Magnamon, like so, and then you digivolved into the Magnamon, or you digivolve from security, has 2 colors, strip 2 sources, And now since it doesn't have any sources, you can bounce this to the hand. Absolutely nuts. This card is just stupid. I think it's the best Magnamon that we have besides the level 7 X-Antibody. Then 4 of the BT8 Magnamons. This one is, I like this one because you Digivolve for every Digimon with armor in its form in the trash. It gets 2000 DP till the end of your turn. I forgot to mention this one also has Armor Purge and Blocker, which this is what this one has as well. So then you would Digivolve. Late game, this card is pretty good. Digivolve, right? Or what I really like to do is with that jamming Veemon there, this was like kind of like the old school when the armor Digimon first came out. You would swing with the Veemon, then you Digivolve into the Magnamon. It's when Digivolving, you get to unsuspend, and it gets 2000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn for each card with armor form in its trait in your trash. So then, you know, even if you just have 2, you have 9, 11, now it's 11,000 blocker, that's a champion. Late game, you could give this guy 10k, so now he's 17,000, and you could just swing over something if you need to. And then if more than likely it's not going to get deleted because now you have high DP and it has armor purge anyway. So this Magnamon is still very, very good. I think this is the second best one out of this lineup for sure. And then to round off the level 4s, Sister Monsiel. The spice with this one. As an on-play reveal, top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Hawkmon, which doesn't apply here, or Royal Knight in its trait among them to the hand. All the Magnamons in this deck have Royal Knight in their trait. Yep, even this one. So you can pick it up. The rest get trash, so I guess it could help this Magnamon, right? When you Digivolve and say you ended up trashing some, now it gets DP. But the real reason why I'm playing this Sistermon is because it gives all your Royal Knights reboots. So you can end up doing something like swing with the Veemon, Digivolve Magnamon, unsuspend, play a Fire Rocket, swing, 1 check, it's deleted, swing, end up Digivolving again if it's your turn or if it survives. Then you have the Sistermon in play, gets reboots, so now it's your opponent's turn, and now you have the blocker with the increased DP buff. So Sistermon is really, really clutch. Of course, it works with the BT16 MagnamonX. Yeah, I love it. I would play it at 2, but you still have to drop it for 4, and you kind of don't want to trash all your cards. So I am sticking just to 1 copy. It's been working out. Level 5s, 2 of the Shakomon. Shakomon is actually really, really nice. Really good here. It doesn't have armor form in its trait because it's not armor Digimon, but it does have the free trait, so you can search for it with the Veemons and you can get this to the hand since it has a free trait. Now this one, ideally what you want to do is DNA, and when you Digivolve through DNA, if you have 5 or fewer security cards, recover +1. I'm sorry, if you Digivolve in general, you recover 1 in general. But then if you DNA, return one of your opponent's Digimon whose level is less than or equal to the number of cards in your security stack to its owner's hand. So it's really nice because if you end up having, let's say, even if you have 5, you Digivolve or your DNA. Now you can recover 1. Right? You recover 1, and now you got 6 because it says 5 or fewer, 5 or less. And then you can bounce a level 6 back to the hand. It's actually really nice. When attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn. It's not once per turn. The MagnaX, you're able to Digivolve, unsuspend, and then, you know, you can trigger Digivolution again, and you can unsuspend. So you can give something minus 6000 DP just from attacking. Last but not least, one Chimeramon. The reason I was playing Chimeramon is because I do have the Sistermon, and then late game, if I have the Sistermon, and then I have another Magnamon in play, if I want that last chip, you can DNA using the Sistermon as a source, and then you can, you know, swing for game. So what does this Chimeramon do? When it Digivolves, you can place a level 5 or lower Digimon card from your trash under this Digimon source, and then up to 4 of your opponent's Digimon get minus 1000 DP for each of this Digimon's colors until the end of your opponent's turn. This does count itself as a color, so it's really awesome when you DNA this Magnamon with this Magnamon. and then you end up digivolving. That's kind of all the colors in the deck, but I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. So you're giving everything minus 4,000 DP, which could be good if you go against, if you're going against, a mirror match and the Magnamon is suspended, you swing over the Magnamon, it gets deleted, reverts back into the Vmon, but since it has a DP reduction from the Chimeramon, since it's to the end of your opponent's turn, it gets popped. So it's a nice way to go around the Magnamons right there. And also the Chimeramon, your turn, this Digimon is treated as also having the colors of its Digivolution sources. While this Digimon has 4 or more colors, it gets 4,000 DP, so it will be 12,000 since you have white, black, blue, and yellow. No, white, black, blue, yellow. White, black, blue, yellow. 4, yeah. You have 4, so he'll be 12,000 DP, and then you minus 4 on something. You could swing over just about anything at that point. So Chimeramon is really fun. If you don't want to run it, you could just do 3 of the Shakomon. I get why you wouldn't, because it doesn't have free in its traits, but I mean, with the draw power that you have from this Magnamon, I drew this quite more than I expected. So that is for level 5's Radar. Hey guys, check out my new app, Card Vault. Card Vault helps you keep track of your card collection. You can build your own decks and so much more. Available now on iOS, Android, coming soon. Most broken card in the game that I think we have. These are proxies because BT16 is not out yet. Oh, Lord. So this is the first tri-colored card, and it does not disappoint. I would pick these up because I think over time they're going to spike up in price because more people are going to want to use them, especially, after they see what it does. And more than likely you'll be able to slap them on like Royal Knights or something in the future. You just never know. So this Magnamon X-Antibody, Digivolve 4 from a level 5. So it costs 4 from the level 5, so you could, from the Chimeramon and or the Shaco, it's going to cost you 4 to Digivolve. Doesn't really matter. The other Digivolution that you could do is Digivolve 2-color with Magnamon and name for a cost of 5. So any of the Magnamons that are level 4s, say you Digivolve, right? And then you can just Digivolve and then turn, you end up for 5. Now, why would you want to do that? Because of everything this card can do. Basically a you win card. It has blocker and it has armor purge. So when digivolving, if Magnamon, then it has parentheses X-Antibody. So it's either a Magnamon or X-Antibody, or a card with armor form trait in this Digimon's. I gotta pick it up because this text is small. Alright, so I'm gonna start over. When digivolving, if Magnamon, X-Antibody, or a card with the armor form trait is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, this Digimon isn't affected by your opponent's effects and gets 3,000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. Then unsuspend this Digimon. Yep. Now, I'm going to make a video on how to play against MagnaX, because this deck is actually really stupid. But the only way for you to get deleted, it's not by DP reduction unless the DP reduction lasts until the end of your opponent's next turn. So that'd be the only way. The only way to really get rid of this is through just swinging over it by force. Raid is a good way to get over it with the War Greymon, but it has armor purge, so it's going to revert back into the Magnamon, so to say. Then if they swing again, well, you have armor purge again, so now you got a Vmon. You dropped it into a Vmon, but it's like if you had piercing, now you're not checking anything, and it's nuts. Now, it's all turns here. Once per turn, when a card is removed from a security stack, you may activate one of this Digimon's when digivolving effects. So the whole thing is, as long as a security is checked, now it's all turns once per turn, unsuspend, activates when digivolving, which triggers unsuspend. You have protection from everything, another 3,000 DP. So ideally, if it's your turn, you end up digivolving, you have enough memory to go into it. When digivolving activates, now you're at 15, unaffected by effects. Swing your opponent's security, and I like to use Fire Rocket in this case. Swing, check security, all turns it unsuspends because now security was triggered. All turns you can activate it once per turn. Now you get another 3,000, so now he's at 18,000 until the end of your opponent's turn, and then you get to swing again. And even if it's left like that, like go ahead, swing at a Magnamon with 18,000 DP. And I have Armor Merge anyway. It's nuts. So that's what this card can do. Look into my battle videos so you could actually see more of combos or how it really works if you kind of want to see more visuals of it. But soon enough you'll know, and you're going to be very annoyed with this deck. But it's very fun to play. It's a very easy kind of to get into deck. So if you're a new player, or if you want to teach someone, like your girlfriend, your wife, or whatever, it's a really good deck for a beginner, at least I think, because you don't really have to follow so much. Going into the Tamers, to Davis. This is a memory set Tamer from BT3. So leaves you at 3. On play, reveal 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 blue and 1 green Digimon. In this case, we're only going to be adding blue. But multiple reasons. You have searching, you have memory setter, and you have... And then he's also a target for the VMons. If you reveal the Davis, you're able to pick them up. Last but not least, 3 of the promo Davises. I had them at 4, but you just see them too much, and I think 4 was too much, so I did drop it at 3. This Davis is nuts. So starting your main phase, if you have a Digimon with free and trait, gain 1 memory. So now when you have these 2, and you have like a VMon even here, and you move them up, then you get to gain a memory, leaves you at 4. So now even if you go from 4 to, X, Digivolve for 4, it's your turn, and you can, do what you got to do. So this Davis has 2 on-play abilities. We're only focusing on 1 here. Activate one of the following effects. You may play a VMon from your hand without paying the cost. A good opening hand is if you have the Davis and a VMon, ideally a Searcher if you want. Right? Ideally that one. Because now even if it's your turn, you Digivolve down here and you have another VMon. Play Davis for 3. Play the VMon. Search out. And now you're ahead of the game. So Davis is really nice. The other effect is it lets one of your Digimon Digivolve into an X VMon. We don't run X VMons here, so that's so you don't have to worry about that one at all. Options, we got quite a few. We're sticking with the split of 2 and 2 of the Blue Memory Boost and Mental Training. Blue Memory Boost, I like it because I do run Fire Rockets in here. So if you end up, leave you at 3 or, you're at 0, you can use Blue Memory Boost, and now you can play 1, 2 Fire Rockets from this. You can't play them from this if you're at 0. And then this Blue Memory Boost is just better because you can search for cards in your deck. So you go deeper into your deck to get, more cards or a card that you're looking for. Mental Training, the upside of it is it could pick up any blue card that includes itself, Blue Memory Boost, any of the Tamers. But you only run through 2 and you reduce Digivolution costs. So both pretty good. This has been working out really well for me. And I did mention the Fire Rockets. While you have a Digimon with Armor Form and its trait in play, you may use this card without meeting its color requirement. And I do want to mention that if you just have the Magnamon in play, I'll take out all the other ones that you can't use. So these 3 cards, if you have them, you can't use the Fire Rocket. You have to have Magnamons to level 4s. Those are the only ones that have Armor Form and its trait, which is why I'm not running 4. And then you do see this card a lot. So just be mindful, if you have the Magna X, you can't use it because it does have the rule assess treated as having free in its trait, but it doesn't have Armor Form. The security, so it gives one of your Digimon with 2 or more colors security attack +1. Now what you can do is, ideally I would Digivolve into a Magnamon while this one's already out. And then you can play a Fire Rocket because you meet the requirement and play it, but you can give it to Magna X. So there's that. 2, Awakening of the Golden Knights. This one, same thing. While you have a Digimon with Armor Form in its trait in play, you may play this card without meeting the color requirements. In this sense, it doesn't matter because he's treated as yellow, black, and blue. So you can play it. Main effect, you may Digivolve one of your Digimon with Armor Form in its trait into a Digimon card with Magnamon in its name from your hand, ignoring its Digivolution requirement, and without paying the memory cost. The Digimon that Digivolve with this effect can't have its DP reduced by your opponent's effect until the end of your opponent's turn. The security effect, return 1 card with Magnamon in its name from your trash to your hand, then add this card to your hand. Why are we running this one? Ideally, if let's say you're at 3, you do have a Magnamon on board, and you still want it to be your turn, play Awakening in the Golden Knight. This is another thing, you can only play with the Magnamons because they only have armor form, or I guess this, but you can't use... I'll explain it. Okay, so Awakening in the Night, you play it, now you can digivolve any Magnamon into a Magnamon card with its name. So ideally, instead of now paying the 5, you're paying 3 from the option card since it's free. The DP reduction doesn't matter because you already kind of have it here with its protection. And there you go. This is just going to maintain your turn if you want to kind of do a last swing or swing over things. So that's kind of the purpose of this card, is just to reduce the evil cost by 5. Now be mindful that you can't play it on Magnamon X itself, because it doesn't have armor form and it's straight. Tool of the Heaven's Judgment, I still think you need a good removal for this. Especially, I would say if, whiteboard decks like the Brigade, those would kind of be a good deck to use against Magnamon, so you could kind of go whiteboard and block. This is really good to use if you have Chimeramon on the field and you have the Magnamons underneath. If I could find them out. Because now you're giving something -1. I'm sorry, you're triggering this 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. So it's 6 times 5. Was that 30,000 DP right there? Nuts. So Heaven's Judgment, while you have a green Digimon or Tamer, you can play it. You don't have to worry about that because it's a yellow card. All the Magnamons are yellow, so you can just drop it. You would be able to drop it with the Chimeramon since it's treated as having all the colors in its sources, so it would be yellow. Now, the main effect, activate the effect below. The effect is one of your opponent's Digimon gets -6,000 DP for the turn. So it activates once when you play it. Then, for each color your Digimon have, activate it again. So, like I said, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. You can, and then you can spread it out. So you can give the whole board -30,000 DP. Card is nuts. And then the security effect is one of your opponent's Digimon gets -12,000 DP for the turn. So that's the most DP that you could reduce. But now if you have the Magna X, which you'll have it more than the Chimeramon, you drop this, you're still giving something -24. So it's just absolutely nuts. This is just like a nuke for the board. What do you guys think of Magnamon? What are you guys teching in there? What are you guys going to play? Are you guys excited for it? Are you guys dreading to play against it? Let me know down in the comments below. Check out the battle videos, any other videos that I have. Any deck profiles you guys want to see, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys there.